Hi everyone, Jerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo. Today was Mike Tomlin news conference today here at the Steelers South Side facility. We're going to tell you all about what he had to say. First, we just want to say our report is brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci Mesothelioma and Asbestos Lawyers. With 85 years of experience of getting millions for their customers, go to sdklaw.com. Ray, Mike Tomlin said today that the three players likely to be out. That's rookie number 1, Derrick Harmon. He should return for the New England game. It was kind of what they thought all along, but he's expected to be out. DeShon Elliott, who was injured in the game in New York, is going to be out as well. He's going to miss a couple weeks with an MCL sprain. The Steelers signed former number 1 pick Jabrill Peppers as a backup just in case. And then Malik Harrison, who was brought in free agency from the Ravens, he was injured in the game as well. He has a knee injury as well. Those three are expected to be out. He said he was optimistic. Joey Porter Jr., the cornerback, whose hamstring tightened in the game in New York. They shut him down after that. He said he's optimistic he could be back, but he said he's really optimistic that Nick Herbig could play. He did not play in New York. He has a hamstring injury as well, but that would be helpful too, because outside of Alex Highsmith, not a lot of pressure the other day in New York.
No, they could certainly use it. I know Nick Herbig is a backup, but whenever he enters the game, Jerry, whether it's for 15 or 20 snaps, he always provides a lot of pressure. And they usually use him a lot in passing situations. So yeah, if he is able to return, should be a big boost for the defense.
Ray, coaches love games such as Sunday because not the Steelers won, but there's a lot to learn from that game. There's a lot to go back and try and figure out where the issues were. Mike Tomlin mentioned things such as fundamentals, mentioned things such as communication. That's where DeShon Elliott's injury was a big deal, because he's the guy back there that calls all the signals in the back end. And when you have new players back there like Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Juan Thornhill, and then of course Chuck Clark, who stepped in for him, it's important to have that guy communicating, and so who knows what's going on. And so when he went out, that became an issue for them with some of the communication problems.
Well, think about it. Chuck Clark wasn't signed, I think, until a week or two into training camp in August. And then you even go back to Jalen Ramsey. He came in late June, but he didn't participate in the spring at all. He was just jumping in really about the same time as Chuck Clark. So, good on the Steelers for getting through that game. Wasn't really pretty for the defense, but hey, Jalen Ramsey stepped up and made a play when he had to.
Ray, it's only 1 week, one game, good or bad, so you're not going to go overboard on whether what the positives or even the negatives. But certainly the things that are of concern after just 1 week is because we saw happen what we saw last year. One, the run defense. Mike Tomlin said he would like to see it be more stout, although I think he used the word stouter. I'm not sure I'd heard that word before. And the protection, it's not so much the protection from last year, but the protection for Aaron Rodgers. Talking about a 41-year-old quarterback, he was sacked 4 times. Ray was under a lot of pressure, and Mike Tomlin acknowledging that Broderick Jones was, in his words, a big component of that.
Yeah, but he also expressed a lot of confidence that Jones is going to be able to turn it around. He says you don't get to the NFL with having a frame of mind that you're going to be steely about that and be able to respond for that. But Gerry, 3 sacks in the first game, gave up double-digit sacks last season. We're not going to sit here and talk about Tomlin making changes after week 1, but you would think if this continues into October, they're going to have to investigate ways to maybe look at somebody else at left tackle.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they have many options, but you're right, they're going to have to look at something. And the other area too, Ray, is obviously they're going to have to get better in the run game, averaging under 3 yards per carry against the Jets. Mike Tomlin noting there were no explosion runs. Those are runs of 10 yards or longer. The longest was a 9-yard run by Jalen Warren. It came in like a 3-play sequence where in the third quarter where it looked like, okay, they're going to try and get this running game going. It looked like it might. He ran for 9 yards, 5 yards, and I think 3 yards. And other than that 3-play sequence, there wasn't a whole lot to the run game.
No, and Ken Gainwell actually got more snaps than Jalen Warren, but he didn't do much in the running game. Jalen Warren did catch a pass for a touchdown, so the running backs did do a little bit to help them win that game. But it was almost like they didn't even try to establish it early. I know when you don't establish early, you can still do that later in the game. Mike Tomlin talked about the time of possession and how the Jets kind of controlled the clock in that game. But you would think, Gerry, you don't want to have your 41-year-old quarterback having to sit back there, drop back 30, 35 times a game. You want to get that running game going, and it was not good in week 1.
Yeah, Bill Cowher used to always say you throw early to run late, but I think, they came into this game, Ray, and I asked Mike Tomlin about this. They came into the game with an aggressive mentality, an aggressive game plan that they were going to use their new toys, and I think they caught the Jets off guard. I don't think the Jets expected a 41-year-old quarterback to come out and throw it 30 times as Aaron Rodgers did, and so that's credit to the Steelers because, you go on the road the first game with new players. You would think Mike Tomlin would kind of go back to his mentality of let's just be cautious, let's not lose the game, but they didn't do that. They came in and attacked. And maybe they'll try a different ploy this week. I don't know. But they wanted to, and he said they brought in players with talent, and they wanted to take a look at them.
You would think, Gerry, with the game being at home, crowd noise shouldn't be an issue. You would think the offense potentially has a chance to even be better, especially if the run game gets going a little bit. You can make your checks at the line of scrimmage without any issue. And, Rodgers did an excellent job of that as well. And we didn't talk about that in the post-game video, but just getting them into good plays at the line of scrimmage. We didn't really see that last year. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields weren't allowed to do that, but Aaron Rodgers certainly is.
Ray, it was an important game for Aaron Rodgers in many respects, and just to start like that, but whether for the confidence of his teammates, the new players that on offense, but also to heighten the crowd for Sunday. That's, of course, not the purpose. But now there's going to be great anticipation of what they can do. And whatever naysayers were out there with Aaron Rodgers, boy, he really flipped that the other day. Even those in the NFL at large. He was a topic of conversation around the league after what he did Sunday. And it just lends to the anticipation and what should be excitement for Sunday's game, Seattle Seahawks, 1 p.m. at Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah, we talked about this throughout training camp. But just think about the stability that he has here that he didn't have with the Jets. Early season coaching change last year, dysfunction up there in New York as it always is if you're losing. And then you come here, say whatever you want about Mike Tomlin, but things are going to stay steady through thick and thin. Good opening week. On Sunday, there's going to be some trials and tribulations along the way, but the one thing that Tomlin provides is that that rock steady stability, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to benefit from that.
It's going to be a reunion game for Steeler receiver DK Metcalf, whether it's good or bad. I don't know what that reunion would be, but we saw him get off to a great start with this Steeler offense Sunday in New York. Steelers back on the practice field tomorrow. The Seahawks at Acrisure Stadium, 1 p.m. on Sunday for the home opener. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You've been watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.